Hello everyone, this is Eli, and well, today we're going to be learning a little bit of the process my process anyway, into learning computer-aided design. So, right now I have a couple of 3D objects I have created using my method of learning. These I'm going to be 3D printing for my mom. She has a couple of vintage Barbies that need repairing. And at $8 a piece for a little repair card, I have one of these guys in front of me. It's got it's based for a couple grams of plastic a piece. They're asking $1 per, and these guys are not even half an inch overall each. So I'm doing my mother a favor, and we're going to be replicating some of these. Now, the whole process begins with, well, what shapes do you see? Right now, I see each of these as 3 individual shapes, each with their own special little mating position. So let's go ahead and I'll turn off the extrusions here. Suppress and suppress. So, if you were to think about it as such, so a lot of this is going off of by ear. I have a set of mechanical calipers, measuring calipers anyhow. People call them micrometers and whatnot. I call them some people call them dial indicators, but it's a set of dial calipers that I have. They go to, looks like tenths, hundredths, a thousandth of an inch of accuracy. I take that lightly, as these are the calipers I beat on all the time. I throw these in my pocket, in my jacket for when I go to work, if I think I'm going to be needing them today. But anyhow, getting on to it, you can be making measurements. I have a sheet of paper here that has all of my measurements that I have captured off of these little pieces of plastic, and I'm going to be going through and making one of these components here. But back onto the subject here, let's discuss on my thought process. As I said, there are 3 shapes, or well, each one will be different anyhow. But with these pieces here, I have made half of the piece, and when I finish the sketch, I go ahead and throw a revolve function on it and go ahead and do that. I also threw a little bit of, I believe you'd call that a fillet of sorts, but anyhow, it's relatively, how do I put this? The learning curve is relatively steep, but it's not a very long learning curve. I mean, going from 2D to 3D is kind of a process here, but we'll go through my process here. We will be making another component. It's going to have a relatively simple geometry. It's going to be, let's just start making a new sketch here. So we'll go ahead. I already have a new sketch set up and created, ready to get going right here. Now we will go ahead and cancel that here. So in the Onshape software, you have a couple of options here. Let's go ahead and hide this other sketch here. Let's go ahead and hide, suppress, suppress, suppress. Oh, turn the sketch off too. Turn off and suppress. Okay. And suppress. Okay, so we're starting on a blank slate here. So let's make sure I'm not doing this on an open spot. Yeah. So we're going to start a new sketch. We'll select our sketch plane. It's going to throw it off in the center of the screen here, but anyway, let's start things off. Here is our shape. So force of habit for me is to try and click this off the screen, but you just kind of throw it off to the side there. So, because I usually use this top left portion of the screen, and you can move these around and all that too, but anyway, I'm not going to bother with that. That's for a different video here. So going off of my drawings here, I have what looks to be 3/10 of an inch, or I will use my little dimension tool, and we will go ahead and throw in the overall length of this. Now, my drawing tells me it is 0.323 of an inch. That'll drop it down. And since I am going to be making, let's see, we will be making the overall diameter from the looks of this of a 246. 0.246. So it's going to be kind of a square looking component here, but we're going to be narrowing it off with several steps along the way. So let's see here. So first things first, I will be dividing these up into little squares. About, call it one apiece. Anyhow, so since we already have our constraints here, it must be this tall, this high. Ooh, I almost forgot. Since I'm going to be making this a revolve function, I'm going to have to pull up my calculator here. 0.246 divided by 2, that's 123. 0.123. There we go. Now we got half of it. Now we're going to be dividing this up into our little squares here. Excuse me, I gotta scratch my ear here. I got headphones on. Now, let's go with the first constraint. Oops, shit, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted dimension tool. That is not what I wanted. I wanted dimension. So we got that 0.1. That'll put our constraint into motion here. I'll set that off to the side. Next one, we will be going off this third one here. So we'll be selecting our points, 0.111, and we'll put that constraint off to the side. And that makes these 2 points should be at least 2, 3. Let's go ahead and make it. Interesting. Well, anyway, they're little pieces of plastic, so I'm not gonna worry too much about 3/1000ths of an inch. It's plastic, so we'll go ahead and delete that constraint. So these are the important ones I'm looking for here. Now, also, this steps down as it goes along here. So let's take a look-see. Let's go ahead and get the height of, set my DPI back to what I had it. So, looks like I forgot to put a couple of dimensions on this guy here. So let's go ahead and take a measurement. So this middle section here, looks like it's looking at 0.252. Divide that by 2, looking at 0.126. So let's go ahead and see if I can catch this 0.16. I totally forgot 246 divided by 2. Did I? Huh, interesting. Did I do something wrong here? 246. That should have been smaller. Unless I did something wrong here. 246 to 123. 323 overall. Like I said, this is the whole learning process here. So, this middle section is supposed to be 246. And then that's my, okay, I figured out what I did wrong here. I am just an idiot. Escape line. Which means I need to take this end piece and knock it down, which is 0.169 divided by 2. That's 0.85. Let's see, can I catch 0.85 just off this? 0.85. Select that across. Escape the line. We will trim these guys off so we have our component shape here. Now I also have a large conical shape on here. So let's go ahead and measure that. Give it a bit of a twist to make sure that we're concentric here. Look at that, 0.342. Let's go ahead and let's see if this will mess with anything, but 0.342 divided by 2, 171. Which makes this, and what should I call that? It looks like I'm going to be making a right triangle of sorts. And then, remember, it all has to sit within this, so we will be making our right triangle. Make sure, let's see, what's the height of this guy? Let's see here, looking at basically 0.1, so we will go ahead and knock that guy off, get rid of that guy. So that's 0.1. Okay, which makes this 0.1. And then we will trim all this excess crap off here. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? Nope, which means we will go ahead and deselect that, get our revolve function. We will be, let's go ahead and bring this back into view here. So select the face of the region, select the axis that it will spin around, and there's my component. So it's not perfect, as I'm going just off of dimensions alone. That actually might be a 30-degree one. That actually might be a little bit bigger as well. I will double check that. Let's make sure, because those look pretty damn close. Like I said, it's hard measuring conical shapes. 0.260, which makes that a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and finish that off. Any edits we do to the sketch will be reflected into that. So let's suppress that. And let's go ahead and edit this. We will go ahead and get rid of that. Get rid of that. Go ahead and point and point. 0.16. 0.08, which makes that really fucking small. Yeah. 1.1. Let me double check that real quick with my calipers. I'm just playing this by ear here. It's not the right way to do it. 0.25. Okay. And that brings it to like 1. Which is not the right way of doing this. Let's go ahead and trim this. That's the whole process of this pretty much. So it's, come on. Go ahead and get this crap out of the way. This out of the way. Let's get the high depth of this guy real quick. Get my depth. That is basically 0.5. Oops, shit. 0.05. And then 0.246, which is 123. Like I said, we're just going to be playing this by ear here. Let's make sure I'm back on the top here, because it looks just like your bog standard straight across, which means I will do this. That. Let's make sure my dimensions are correct, since I did delete a lot of the constraints here. That is still the correct dimension. And 0.05. You know, I was probably pretty damn close with this original measurement here. 0.246, yeah. Which makes this 123. Height of this guy. .1. Fair enough. We will be rolling with this. It should have. Nope. Suppress. Let's go ahead and edit this. Actually, we will be adding this boy to it. Let's edit the sketch. Trim this off, make it one component. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this piece is, as this is pretty much how this world works. You are given a shape and some papers telling you what size it is and your accuracy, and that's how you go from there. So let's go ahead and we'll just show off everything else I've made so far. Let's go ahead and make this the color of the plastic here. So I got a handful of pieces right now, so I'm going to be saving every single one of these individually here. I got to make one more, which I will show to my parents, or once I show this to my mother when she gets this going. So yeah, quick little short tutorial. I wouldn't call this the best thing in the world, but I would call this more as a reference more than anything. So once I get more comfortable with the software, I'll start going into more complex shapes, and we'll go from there. We're getting pretty close to 20 minutes, and I'm actually getting ready to go to work, so thank you guys for watching. If you find this video as any helpful and as useful in any way, shape, or form, appreciate that you guys share it. Give me some comments, give me some critiques on what I'm doing here. Like I said, I am learning SolidWorks. It's just this is more convenient for me to show, as it is much simpler layout. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thank you.